Hey everybody, this is Eric Johnson here with Inbox Mailers and Inbox Hacking. Today we got Josh behind the scenes here, and he's going to be feeding me some of the most frequently asked questions from our clients and from the forums and from some of the videos. So Josh, take it away, and we'll see where this takes us.
So the first question is, a lot of email marketers say they can get into the inbox with Gmail, but their deliverability is not so well with Yahoo and Hotmail. They usually end up in the spam. How come there's a difference between the different ESPs as far as deliverability?
Yeah, that's a great question. So number one thing you should know is like so just in general, in email deliverability, right? Everything is based, you're given a sender score based on how well you mail according to that ESP or that inbox provider. So Gmail is going to say these are the things that we look at the most. They're going to look at open rates and engagement. They're going to look at your consistency. They're going to look at your spam rates. They're going to look at your reply rates. They're going to look at all this stuff and how people are interacting with your messages, right? And the one thing that all providers are trying to do, like the main principle behind all this, they're trying to keep spam messages out of your inbox and the messages that you want to get in your inbox. The thing about it is each one of these inbox providers has a different set of criteria that their algorithm runs on. And ultimately, they're all trying to do the best job of filtering messages into the right place, right? And so Gmail, like I said, it has its own set of criteria, and then Hotmail has its own set of criteria. And so, like right now, Hotmail is super, and Microsoft is super finicky with frequency. And so, what you have to do is sort of treat these segments and these your Gmail users and your Hotmail users and your Yahoo users differently if you're not getting great deliverability on all of them. And the number one key to all of that is making sure you're tracking your deliverability with each of the providers or whatever. And so as you see that you're running into bumps or you're not getting the same kind of deliverability or you're below 90 on your sender score, you have to sort of investigate, see what's going on, and look at ways you can remediate that program, segment them out and treat them differently until you get back up into that 90 range.
So you talk about tracking your deliverability, and you mentioned your sender score. Is this sender score like a credit score? It's like a universal number, or does each ESP give you a unique sender score that is unique to that ESP?
Yeah, it's like that, and so the answer is both. So you can go into the individual ESPs or inbox providers and see what your score is for there, and then there's also services like I think we use something called eData or something. We'll put the name on the screen of the thing that we use, but it tells you your sender score among all the different providers and then gives editorial sends and 1 promotional send per day, we may say, why don't we try to cut it down to 1 editorial and 1 promotional email and see if that doesn't. So you send that for a couple days and you look at your sender score. Is it leveling out? Is it increasing? Whatever. You're just really watching this and trying different things until you get there. Another thing that you can do, if you don't know if it's frequency or not, I'm just giving an example based on frequency, but is you're just cutting down who you're sending to. So normally we have all of our lists are what's called using engagement-based segmentation. And basically that's just saying we're sending more frequently to the people who have opened or clicked from us recently, and less volume to people who haven't opened in a long time. And so when we have a problem with a ESP, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll say, instead of sending to people who have opened in the last 14 days, let's cut that down to 10 days, or let's cut that down to 7 days. And what that does is it dramatically increases or improves your open rates, which is, generally speaking, the biggest thing that affects your sender score and your deliverability, because as the inbox providers say, holy crap, these guys are getting 40, 50, 60% open rates, it's not likely that these messages are spam, and it's not likely that these messages are unwanted. You know what I'm saying? And so the higher your open rates, the more it solves for everything else. You can solve for frequency with higher open rates or whatever. So that's how you sort of remediate, and you don't always have to have these segmented out. It's only really when you're seeing problems, or it is when algorithms change. There's a lot of stuff that changes. You got to sort of adjust on the fly. But once things settle down and they settle down into what you can tell is happening, then you may have to say, hey, look, Gmail's always going to let us send this much. I'm not going to sacrifice how much I can send or how frequently I can send on Gmail because Hotmail doesn't like it when I send this much. I'm just going to segregate those two things out, have a different send schedule over here and a different send schedule over there to maximize my program. All right, Josh, we got any more questions?
Nope, those are all the questions for this week.
Okay, awesome. Guys, we're going to try to do this weekly. So if you have questions about your own program that you want to know, or just questions in general about how to do email deliverability and tips and tricks for marketing, go ahead and comment below or send us an email to questions@inboxmailers.com and we'll get those answered. If you guys want to sign up for our free newsletter where we give tips and tricks every week on how to get into the inbox and how to be more effective with your email program, go ahead and sign up for our free newsletter at inboxhacking.com. Talk to you next week.